Finally time for another full review. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. We are finally doing another full review on the channel. It's been a while. As you guys know, I recently ran a marathon and was kind of sticking to one shoe, the Super Comp Trainer from New Balance. That was my primary shoe. And I was throwing in a couple first run impressions here and there, but I really wanted to do the majority of my miles in one shoe because I just didn't want to get injured. But anyways, now that the marathon is over, I've finally been able to take some of those first run impression shoes and run a little bit more mileage in them. And the first one to hit 50 miles out of the bunch was the New Balance Fresh Foam More B4. This is one cushy tank of a shoe, and today we're gonna talk about what worked for me or didn't work for me in the upper, the midsole, and the outsole. This review won't have the specs or like the detailed specifics of every piece of the shoe. That's really what my first run impressions videos are for. So if you're interested in checking out a little bit more about the shoe, I will link that video right here. But first, what do we gotta do? What? Yeah, the run footage, I know. Roll the run footage, let's go. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by New Balance. However, they're not going to see this video before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. Let's start with the upper of the More V4. It's a thickle engineered mesh. It feels very plush and comfortable against your foot. The tongue has some padding, but it's not gusseted, and you got some nice cushion around the ankle collar. In my first run impressions video, I mentioned that this shoe really isn't that breathable, and I still think that that's true. But now that it's getting a little bit colder outside, I kind of welcome that because I am getting some airflow, but it's not enough to really freeze my feet. So it's not extremely breathable, but if you are running in colder climates, you might not care. Now, New Balance sent me a men's shoe, so automatically for me it feels a little bit wider. So that might have something to do with the way that I feel about the way the shoe fits. But I've also heard from women who have women's shoes that it does feel a little bit wide. My biggest thing here is I really have to cinch down the laces to get the midfoot of this shoe to wrap around my foot in the way that I need it to in order to feel comfortable on runs. I'm able to do it, and once it's cinched down, I don't have a problem with it, and I don't even think about it. But I really gotta cinch it. I don't wanna speak too much to it because, again, this is a men's shoe, but I think it's a little bit wide. I had no issues over the course of 50 miles with hot spots, irritation, or blisters, so don't worry about any of that. Again, I would just recommend trying this on in the store to make sure that it feels right for you. Overall, I like the upper. It's held up really, really well. Now to the midsole, and as you can see, there's a pretty big one. It's all that nice New Balance Fresh Foam X right under your foot, and truthfully, I think New Balance nailed this midsole. It's extremely comfortable, feels extremely durable, and it felt the same today on my run as it did the first time I took it out. It is the perfect amount of cushioning and efficiency. Sometimes with these max cushion shoes, they can feel very comfortable and very cushioned, but also a little bit sloppy, a little bit like quicksand. and you can't really get the turnover going. And I would say that in the More V3, you kind of felt that way, but not here in the V4. Here you have lots of protection from the road, but they've also changed the geometry of the shoe a bit to give you a nice roll forward so the turnover really gets going. It doesn't feel like I'm dragging my feet behind me and kind of sacrificing something for wanting to feel comfortable. I've been doing mostly easy runs since my marathon, and I mean, this thing just handles it with beauty and grace. Is it the most exciting foam? No, but it does feel a bit upgraded from the previous version of the shoe, and it feels like home. I didn't have to break this shoe in. It just felt good from the jump, and it feels good still. So that's a really big, important factor to me. And truly, I feel like this foam could go hundreds more miles easily. And for a neutral shoe, it's also stable. It's got a pretty wide footprint, and I don't have any issues with overpronation. This midsole, I love her. Now on to the outsole. It's pretty self-explanatory. Got some nice rubber in the forefoot and some in the heel. The rubber has been holding up decently. There is some wear on the tread, but that's expected at this point. And it doesn't seem to matter because the traction is still really good in this shoe. I've taken it in all different types of conditions, wet, dry, you name it. And I don't feel that slipping sensation that I do feel in some other shoes. I'm pretty confident that this outsole will hold up just as well as the rest of the shoe has, which is always good. It stinks when the outsole goes before the rest of the shoe and you just can't really get a good handle on the road, but I don't think you're gonna have that problem in the More V4. The New Balance Fresh Foam More V4 is $149.95 on runningwarehouse.com, which I think is a pretty standard price for max cushion shoes these days. 150 bucks. Yeah, sounds about right. If you're interested in picking up a pair of the Fresh Foam More V4, I'll put a link in the description of this video. You can click that and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind, it is an affiliate link with Running Warehouse, however, it doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can put you onto shoes that I think are really good. And with that being said, I think the New Balance Fresh Foam More V4 is a really good shoe for what it is. I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, max cushion shoe that I've tried in a really long time. Aside from like the Super Comp Trainer and the Super Blast, I mean, those are in a different category, I feel. But this, as just like your standard max cushion shoe, I think that there's really no other shoe that does it better right now. And for that reason, I think the Fresh Foam More V4 from New Balance deserves 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only negative thing that I can really think about for this shoe is the way that the upper fits. But other than that, I got nothing. If you're in the market for a long run, easy day shoe, the More V4 is knocking at your door.
Wow.
Thank you. It'll certainly be knocking on my door for those easy, cushy, chill runs, which are pretty much the only runs I do these days, so get ready for some more miles. Well, everyone, that concludes my full review of the Fresh Foam More V4. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I'm not too mad about the men's shoe because I really like this colorway. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. Hi, Scooby girl. How's it going over here? How's it going? I love you. You're so good, girl.